Welcome back to the Future Strong podcast. You know, life can sometimes feel like it's throwing everything it has at us all at once, and bouncing back, can feel impossible sometimes. You know what I mean? So today, let's talk about rebuilding your narrative. And no, I'm not saying just erasing the past. It's more about creating a future that, is aligned with what really matters to us. And to help us with that, we're going to be talking about some pretty cool concepts like Ikigai. You ever heard of that one? That's a Japanese concept, all about finding your purpose. Oh, and Eudaimonia, that one's from ancient Greece. It's about flourishing, like really thriving.
Yeah, it really is this super interesting mix of ancient wisdom and modern self-help stuff. And where it all begins might surprise you. It starts with just embracing reality.
Okay, that sounds simple enough.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but we resist it so often. We get stuck on what's wrong or what's unfair, but really accepting things as they are right now, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's how we can start moving forward.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I got to say, it's definitely easier said than done. So how do we actually do that? Embrace those messy parts. Especially when they hurt.
Yeah, it's tough, for sure. But it's about realizing that those messy parts, they're part of your story. They don't define you. Humans are really incredibly resilient. We adapt, we learn, we can even find joy in the middle of challenges. Think about it. Haven't there been times when you felt a sense of peace or even contentment, even when things were hard?
Yeah, I get that. Even just little things, a cup of coffee, taking a walk, or laughing with people you care about.
Exactly. And that's where courage comes in. It's not about not being afraid. It's about taking action, even though you're scared.
All right, so we face reality. We might even be starting to make peace with it a bit. So what comes after that in this whole rebuilding process?
So next up, it's time to redefine what success actually means.
Ooh, I like that. So much pressure on what success should look like.
Right. We get so caught up in those external measures of success, money, status, achievements. But true success is about something different. It's about getting your goals to match up with what you value. And it's about feeling fulfilled by the journey itself.
So less about checking off boxes and more about living a life that feels meaningful to you.
Exactly. And that means letting go of this idea that setbacks mean you failed. Have you ever heard of kintsugi? It's this Japanese art where they repair broken pottery with gold. They actually highlight the cracks instead of hiding them.
Oh, wow. I've seen that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And it's this awesome metaphor. You know how our imperfections and setbacks can actually make us stronger and more interesting?
I love that analogy. It's like those scars we get along the way. They become part of our story. They make us who we are.
Exactly. And embracing your own unique story, it also means changing how you think about uncertainty. Because let's be real, life is unpredictable. And when we try to stick to some rigid plan, it just creates tons of anxiety. What if instead of being afraid of the unknown, we looked at uncertainty as a chance to grow, a chance to discover new things?
That's a big shift in thinking. So instead of fearing the unknown, we should see it as a chance to explore new things, to push ourselves outside our comfort zone and just see where life takes us.
Totally. And along the way, don't forget to celebrate all those little wins. Progress isn't always about some massive leap forward, It's those small, consistent efforts every day that really add up to big changes in the long run. So go ahead. Acknowledge those small wins. Celebrate them. It'll give you the motivation to keep going, the encouragement you need to keep pushing forward.
So we've embraced reality, redefined what success really means to us, and now we're ready to start making some real progress. What's next?
Now we get to the good stuff. Winning daily. Winning daily. It really comes down to understanding this one thing. We can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we react to things. It's all about focusing on what we can influence, like our mindset, the actions we take, how we respond to things.
I see. So it's about mastering our own inner game, even when everything around us feels crazy. But how do we actually do that, build that kind of resilience? Got any tips?
Oh, there are so many things you can try, but let's start with a few basics. Okay, first, try to make exercise a regular part of your life. Seriously, being physically active is powerful stuff. It releases those feel-good chemicals, lifts your mood, and it gives you more energy to face those challenges.
Yeah, I could see that. Having more energy definitely makes a difference.
It really does. Second, find some inspiration in the stories of people who've been through tough times. People who have overcome obstacles, reading their stories, listening to podcasts, or even just talking to someone who's faced adversity. It can really remind you of just how strong the human spirit can be.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Finding role models. People who have walked a similar path and come out the other side even stronger. It's super motivating.
It really is. And don't forget, big changes don't happen overnight. You got to be patient with yourself. Celebrate those little wins along the way. And one more thing. Never underestimate the power of hope, even when things are tough. Choosing to have a positive outlook can make a world of difference in how you approach those challenges.
Right. It's like that old saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't. You're right. Our mindset really shapes our reality.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're embracing reality, redefining success, winning daily. These are some powerful steps. I'm really excited to talk about the next part, Ikigai and Eudaimonia. Those concepts are so interesting. Can you explain them for us?
Absolutely, Ikigai. You know, it's that Japanese concept that's often translated as a reason for being. It's like finding that sweet spot where your passions, your skills, what the world needs, and what you can be rewarded for all come together. It's like finding your own special purpose in life.
I love that idea. But I have to admit, it sounds a little daunting. How do we actually find our Ikigai? Where do we even start?
It's a journey of self-discovery. And it usually involves asking yourself some pretty deep questions. Things like, what do you really love doing? What comes naturally to you? What does the world need more of? What makes you feel fulfilled? You got to look both inside yourself and out into the world.
So it's about balancing what we're passionate about with what the world around us needs.
You got it. And that leads us to eudaimonia. This one's from ancient Greece, and it's often translated as flourishing or living well. It's all about living a life full of virtue, a life with meaning, a life that's aligned with your values.
So it's not just about being happy right now in this moment. It's about a deeper kind of fulfillment.
Yeah, exactly. It's about making choices that line up with your core beliefs, acting with integrity, and giving back to something bigger than yourself. When your life is aligned with what you value, it creates this sense of purpose, this feeling that things just make sense. And that's what contributes to that feeling of flourishing.
I get it. So we've covered a lot of ground today. Embracing reality, redefining success, winning daily Ikigai and Eudaimonia. It's like a roadmap to rebuilding our lives.
It really is. And there's one more piece, maybe the most important one, accepting yourself completely and fully.
So we spend so much time, focusing on our flaws, the things we want to change about ourselves. But you're saying that to really grow, we need to accept every part of us.
Yeah, it's huge. Trying to ignore or push down parts of ourselves, it just causes all this inner turmoil. And instead, we need to be kind to ourselves, have some self-compassion.
Yeah.
You would be understanding with a friend, right? Give them a break. So why not do the same for yourself?
Yeah, it's true. It's so easy to be so hard on ourselves. But what if we try to look at it differently? What if instead of seeing those flaws as weaknesses, we saw them as opportunities to learn and grow?
That's a really powerful way to look at it. Those imperfections that we try so hard to hide, they can actually be our best teachers. They help us build resilience, empathy, a deeper understanding of who we are.
I like that. This whole idea of rebuilding our narratives, it's really about recognizing that our stories aren't finished yet. There's always potential for growth, for change, for new chapters.
Right. And those new chapters, they don't have to be filled with huge accomplishments to be meaningful. You can find purpose and fulfillment in the everyday moments. The small choices we make each day, when we make those choices with intention, that's where the magic happens.
So it's not just about getting to some big destination. It's about finding the joy and meaning in the journey itself.
Exactly. And there are so many ways to do that. Never stop learning. Keep exploring new ideas, expand your horizons, find ways to be generous, give back to your community, volunteer, do something kind for someone, support a cause you care about. And remember to take care of yourself too. Make sure you're getting enough rest.
It's about finding that balance, right? The balance between pushing ourselves and taking care of ourselves.
You got it. Rebuilding your narrative isn't about pretending the past didn't happen. And it's not about trying to be perfect. It's about building a future that's truly you. A future that reflects your values, your purpose, your unique journey.
Wow, this has been so insightful. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us.
Of course, happy to be here.
And to everyone listening, remember this. Your story is still being written. You have the power to shape what comes next. So embrace this journey. Learn from everything you experience. And keep moving forward with courage, with curiosity, and with kindness for yourself.